Welcome. I'm Brixton Diamond, co-founder and board chair of the Black House Foundation. Excited to be with you today. Replacing Lorrie Bartlett, co-head of talent at ICM Partners, who couldn't be with us today because she is dealing with the loss that's hitting Black Hollywood and the entire entertainment community really hard. We ask that you keep in your thoughts and prayers Regina King, Ian Alexander Sr., and all who knew and loved Ian Jr. We are going to carry on in terms of thinking about how to create voice and opportunity for our people. And today I'm pleased to be joined and have the pleasure of introducing one of the most powerful yet endearing women in Hollywood, Regina Hall.
Hello, Brixton. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to acknowledge that we are coming from Los Angeles, the native land of the Tonga, Kids, and Chumash people. So honored to be on their land and to be representing for our people. So Regina has numerous film and television credits to her name. We know them all so well. The first African-American actress to win a New York Film Critics Circle Award for Best Actress in her role in Support the Girls. In 2021, though, Regina launched her production company, RH Negative, signed a first look deal with Showtime and a 6-movie slate deal with Viacom CBS's Entertainment and Youth Group. She stars and executive produces in the upcoming drama thriller Master, which premiered yesterday at the Sundance Film Festival, and from Amazon Studios, and the mega church satire Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, premiering tomorrow, Sunday, at the festival, opposite Sterling K. Brown. And both represent feature film debuts at the Sundance Film Festival for the directors. But now we're going to jump in with Regina. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So, thank you for that introduction, too.
My pleasure. You're a busy woman, right? Acting, producing, now running your own production company. Tell us how that came to be and what's behind the meaning of the name RH Negative.
Well, I mean, I've obviously been in the business, for years with working and that's been wonderful. And I think just there's a natural progression that comes with being in the business and learning and, wanting to grow and do more and aging. And so I, got into producing and that's been really fun. I'm still learning. So we just started, and the name of the company is RH Negative, which obviously those are my initials, the R and the H, but it's the RH in this case stands for rhesus factor in your blood type. So it's like if you are A, B, whatever your blood type is, positive or negative. And so that's what it's for. And I happen to be RH negative.
All right. So out the gate, 2 movies in Sundance.
Yes.
Let's do a little brushing the shoulders off, if we might. So we talked about in the introduction, you star and executive produce the cult drama Master. Yes. Gail Bishop is your character's name. Mm-hmm. We both spent our time on the campuses of predominantly white institutions. And this film is about 3 women who share disturbing experiences at a predominantly white college in New England that's probably older than the United States itself. What drew you to the project, and just tell us about the journey to getting engaged and getting to production?
Well, when I read it and I thought it was incredibly interesting. I mean, just having gone to, college, I mean, I didn't go to an HBCU. And so, having gone to predominantly white colleges and schools, and I read a book, Diversity, Inc., and looking at institutions, American institutions that are still not truly diversified, and actually Ivy League colleges is one of them. So I thought Mariama had created this incredible world of horror, or the horrifying things that are happening kind of in this, on this campus, which in the film feels, slightly otherworldly. And I just thought it was interesting and thought-provoking and unfortunately still timely. And I thought the way that she told the story in the genre of horror, I think we kind of are used to people, where it's like a hard-hitting drama, or, it's kind of a little, subversive in like in a comedy. But I felt like, it was interesting the way she set it on this college campus, and she put it in the world of academia. And so I thought it was really smart, and that she is really smart. I think Mariama is incredibly gifted as a filmmaker, and had such an interesting approach to what she wanted to do and how she wanted to shoot the movie.
And so the genre film, talking about the horror and horrors on some of these campuses, and particularly the construct, right? Just through the very nature of being a master of a college or a house.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of conversations do you think it will strike up on those campuses as you look back on what you experienced filming it, but also just you expect from impact?
I don't know. I think it's always hard to really be able to, kind of, predict how people will react to a film and to certain, subject matters. I mean, I imagine that it will expand. For some people, it will be like, oh my goodness, that's so true. And for other people, it might feel greatly exaggerated. I think the important thing is that I think it will cause conversation, and that's what you really want. You want there to be dialogue and discussion, and perhaps even, change if needed. You know what I mean? But you can't get there without the discussion. And so hopefully, even if people go home and think about it, hopefully, and hopefully some will, I obviously some people will agree and disagree, but I think having healthy dialogue, and I think we have lost a lot of that, but I think having healthy dialogue and healthy conversations are really ultimately what we need and what we would have to do to progress as a whole.
So a lot of Black lady magic on this set. So Mariama Diallo is a Black woman herself, featured debut here at Sundance Film Festival. What's your favorite memory from shooting the project for Mariama? What's the sort of the tea you can give us from the set?
Oh God, Mariama didn't stop drinking. No, I'm joking. But I don't have any tea. No, I just will say, for this to be her directorial debut, she's so smart, so clear in her vision. She knew exactly, what she wanted. I mean, she really is amazing at creating like a very nuanced subject matter performances, and also incredibly collaborative. She's as collaborative as she is clear, and really, open to talking and hearing your understanding of the character. I think that's what I love. But more than anything, I think I love that she really is great at giving direction. Direction for an actor to understand, what she wants and how to give her what she wants. I also found her to be so, it's her first film, and her 1 month in, a pandemic happened, and we shut down for an entire year. And then we came back, and, we had a couple of cast members, because of the new COVID situations, that we had to restart and reshoot, and then that was great. And then my mom passed 2 weeks before we were finishing, and then that had that that pause, and but never did Mariama lose her calm and her compassion and her patience and grace, and she still remains supportive, on and off camera. So I mean, I think to watch her have to helm her first feature and have everything that could happen basically happen, and then see her resolve and her commitment, I think it was great.
And already tied to Amazon, right? So it's going to be seen.
Yeah, it's going to be seen, and it will have a limited release in theaters as well. So yeah, it's exciting.
That's great. We're going to come back when we finish talking about Honk with Jesus, Save Your Soul, about the producing experience. But I want to So encapsulate both those and maybe contrast them a little bit. But with that, I want to jump to Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. It's a hilarious comedy centered around the fall and hysterical antics of the comeback of the First Lady, Trinity Childs, and her pastor husband, and the African-American church that they steward. With Black church being such an integral part of the African-American experience, especially in the South, what do you think that the message that you hope folks will get from this film would be?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I mean, church in general, the evangelical community in general, it's large, and in the Black community, the Black church has represented many things for many people for a long time, and this, it broaches on some subject matter that has been controversial in the Black church. And so I'm sure there will be some reaction to it. I think that's good. I mean, I think it does need to be confronted, and I think that they do it in a really smart and funny and thought-provoking and sometimes heartbreaking ways. So another amazing, talented, young Black director, which, Adama, and that, being able to, see what she wrote, and it's amazing because she and Mariama both wrote their projects, and they're directing them. So that's exciting. That's amazing. The Evil twins work a lot together, Adama and Atane.
Right. And how'd the project come to you? How'd you get drawn into the project?
They reached out, and my agent sent it to me, and was like, I think this thing is really interesting. And I read it, and I thought it was hysterical. and also like, ooh, are we really gonna, are we doing this? And so that was, what I mean? Those things are always, anytime you see something like that, you're like, yeah, we're gonna do it.
Let's do this. And as you think about it, it must have been, was this shot during the pandemic as well, or shot some time ago?
This was shot during the pandemic. It was. So it was shot in Atlanta. I don't know if they knew it was a pandemic.
Nobody told Atlanta, right?
Atlanta don't know. Atlanta and Florida think it's 2019.
They just go hard no matter what.
Exactly. But yeah, it was, and we had a great cast, a great crew, and I had a ball with Sterling K. Brown, who plays Pastor Childs, and it's really exciting because he's so funny in this movie.
That's great.
Like, he's like really funny. So it'll be another side for Sterling, and like, they're like they're a husband and wife, all right. I don't know what else we're gonna say, but they're committed. They're committed to the cause.
Committed to the cause and to saving the souls. So how many days of shooting on this one?
Gosh, that's a really good question.
How many days were you shooting on this one?
I think I worked every day but one, but I was it a 5 or 6 week shoot? Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, it was intense. I remember Sterling and I being like, damn. And not in terms of the schedule, but like, she worked us, you know what I mean? Like, and when I say she worked us, I mean in terms of performance. So right. And so let's come back to the producer of it all. And so starting out the gate with these two Black women producers, exciting opportunity to really put forward voices. What was most important to you from that producer seat to make sure that you were bringing and offering and making sure it happened? I mean, I think, once you start, sitting in producing seats, you're really there to offer whatever thoughts, insight, and anything that you can add to make the project better. And so, one of the things that was really important was who was going to be Pastor Child. So, that to me felt like that it feels obvious, like, of course it has to work, but there are very few people who would be able to make that work. So, having those conversations. And Sterling, again, like I feel like we just really, we really lucked out with him. But and then working to see like where is there room for improvement?
Mm.
You know, um, what makes this work even better? I mean, obviously, by the time you get a script, you are enjoying it, and there are things that you go, "Oh, I think we get elevated." And so I think it's just literally being in a collaborative space, so that you can offer what you can to help make that project the best that it can be ultimately.
And what seats should we expect you to sit in on? And you think about the projects you're going to put forward from RH Negative. Will you be producing, directing, acting, writing?
I'm gonna be starring in and producing all adult films. No.
Okay. Yeah. Teamwork.
No. Produce, like, yeah, I definitely producing and certain things starring in and certain things not starring in. Certain things just, are not going to be for me. You know what I mean? Because the ideas
Mm-hmm.
are not necessarily for me. Sometimes I read just great material that I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. And unfortunately, it's not for me. But it makes it's wonderful. So I look forward to producing it and directing it. Oh, there's a detail to directing that I don't know. I'll be like, shit, I done forgot a close up. Damn it! I knew it was something.
Like,
I don't know. But because there is a detail to directing that, that I think is important.
yeah. But as you think about, so you started out the gate with a genre film and a comedy. Can you give us a sense of sort of what's your palette? What
I love all.
signifies?
I think I love all things. I think that's a big thing for me. I think that's what I love about what we do. I think that there's so much room and so much space. So I know people always think that I might think one that I like better than the other, but I really don't. I have to say that I don't know. I love if they're good. If it's good, it could be a drama, a comedy, a sci-fi. I don't have a I mean, I may have, there's something fun about obviously shooting a comedy when it's working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when funny stuff is working and you're on set, because I do love ad-libbing, and like you're on set, that to me is great. That I mean, like the fun parts of Honk that me and I mean, I loved Black Monday with Don because we used to just ad lib, but the fun parts of Honk with Sterling,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of that ridiculous, but like so true, like honest kind of, interaction that you guys are having, that the two people as artists you're having off the cuff in those characters, that's pretty fun. I can't say Master was fun to shoot, but it was certainly really rewarding, and I learned a lot. And it is fun, but I mean, there's certain emotional spaces that that are hard, and that existed in Honk too. You know what I mean? So I think it kind of mimics life. There's just some
things there.
highs, and then there's just some days that don't feel as good.
Yeah, and so both of these shot on location. Are these sort of out in the wild sort of shoots?
They're out in the wild. With Master, we shot in New York, kind of all over.
Okay.
And then in Atlanta, we were at a few locations, but there was a lot that we shot in our church.
And was that a operating, functioning church, or you all took over a church that?
It was not an operating. I don't believe it was an operating church.
Okay.
But then again, we shot during COVID, so many churches were not up and operational, and I think I'm sure.
Yes. So you have had a really powerful career. What do you attribute to your sort of staying power and your ability to keep at it and keep getting the recognition and the opportunities that we all want to see you have?
I think it's just I've been really fortunate to be in projects that have worked. I've had a lot of consistent support from, the the films and from the Black community. And I think, you know, that's probably been a gigantic part of it. You know what I mean? Being a part of, you know, sometimes I don't know that Black audiences know how much they matter. You know what I mean? But they do. They matter a lot. And so I think being able to be a part of films that really resonate with our culture has been really imperative to being able to the one, be consistent, but then to grow. And then I think just always trying to, you know, do things that are different, you know, so that at least when people see you, they feel like they're getting different versions. And, you know, just I have a really great team at ICM, you know, my agent, Andrew and Craig, and that's been important too, because they're really thoughtful about the things that they read and that they bring that may not, you know, some films have been small, some parts have been small. You know, for me, it's like just being involved in really good projects. I don't have to be, you know, the lead. It can be many things, and I think that's been great too.
That's great. And so for us, Black House has been at Sundance since 2007. And so, you know, we sadly are not on the ground there at the festival this year, but we've seen the number of Black films grow from 7 in 2007 to more than half, or just about half the films in the festival this cycle. What did getting into Sundance, not once but twice the same year, mean to you?
Oh, it was so exciting to get into Sundance, and it meant a lot to me. But I also was so really happy for the filmmakers, you know, and those producers, you know, Animal Kingdom. They were so supportive, you know, during Master. I mean, especially with Master having the ups and the downs, and then Honk for Jesus, I met with before. You know, they were patient and they waited, and you know, because everything gets changed and affected by timing and what windows you can, you know, put it in and where you've got to shoot. And so, you know, I'm excited for people to have, for them to have the platform. Obviously, it would have been incredible to have it in person and to be able to experience it with them. But I'm thrilled that I get to share this moment with them. I think and the cast, you know, just such we have so many so much wonderful new talent in Atlanta, and then or young talent, I should say, and then so much incredible talent in Master. So being able to share that with the cast and share that with the writers, producers, and directors, you know, all that's really great.
That's great. So we've already said it, but we can't say it enough times. We applaud you as an empowered Black woman in Hollywood. But there's so much farther to go in this industry and in this community until it's truly diversified. You know, what do you hope the next generation of Black actresses and producers learn from your journey, or don't have to repeat from your journey?
Well, you know, the next generation is already onto their own thing. I mean, it's different. You know, my generation had it completely different, and now they have different pressures, but also different opportunities. I mean, they are able to make their own content now in a way that didn't exist when I was coming up. You know, you just had to audition and get the part, but now you can create your own content and you can say, look, I have an audience, I have a voice, I have people out there. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of incredible creativity from them seeing filmmaking from a different vantage point. I mean, the shit they got iPhones. They making movies at home. You know what I mean? I was happy if I could keep my home phone on. So they're already, you know what I mean? So I look, you know, whatever I, you know, offer to them is great, but I look forward to learning from them as well.
That's beautiful. And what can we expect next from you? What's on the horizon? What's coming out?
So we have this coming and Honk for Jesus. And then I'm starting The Best Man.
Say more.
Yeah, you know, before it was Best Man Holiday. I'm like, wait, what's it called now? I don't even know.
The franchise.
Yeah, the the next one, and which would be good. And then we're kind of into the whole midnight run thing, which we're doing, and then RH Negative has some projects and I have some stuff in development at Showtime, which is exciting, and a couple of working on the TV side and then some film stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff that's like ruminating, and I'm really like praying that 20 it takes so long behind the scenes, but that 2023 some RH Negative projects will be in production.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And as you think about what you've learned just in these last couple of days, I mean, I know Sundance is like fresh and it's from afar, and anything that surprised you that you've learned from this experience of, you slog it out with these films, and you talked about the process, particularly on Master being a long one with stops and starts. Anything that surprised you or you've learned that's been significant about this remote process, but just the Sundance of it all?
I learned my assistant's really good, because I probably wouldn't be on. Probably wouldn't have logged on to it.
Big up to the assistant.
Yeah, Kiara. Shout out to Kiara. I think what people are capable of doing to keep moving forward. The fact that even in light of Omicron, for the second year in a row, Sundance has moved forward. All the filmmakers still being able to show their movies, and all of them. So, applauding them with all the entries. And I did learn that, how many movies are submitted and how many movies actually get into the festival. And I didn't realize that, actually, that number. And then just, the support those films get from people like you, who just literally virtually get wherever they are to come and continue to try and help those films that don't have distribution yet get the support they need to get seen and finally get that. And I think it's really important to, and we're having this today, and it would have been different, So I think it's important that we just hold people we love in prayer, when we know that is important, even in the midst of all this,
Amen. Well, it's lovely to talk to you. We're so excited for the two films. Cannot wait to see them. We talked about the fact that Honk for Jesus premieres tomorrow. But there'll be additional screenings for Master as well. So that's going to be exciting. So we got to get folks to buy tickets, go see those films.
Yes.
Drive demand.
Send the money to me. It's $600 a ticket.
Cash App.
PayPal, Venmo, Zelle.
That's great. That's all the time we have, but for your insights. Congratulations again. We want to thank all of the partners and agents at ICM who helped to bring us this conversation, to bring us you. On their behalf and the Black House, I want to tell you how proud we are of all your work and all your success, and can't wait to see what RH Negative produces and brings to audiences, and all the other projects that you're in, because we are stans, and just excited for your Sundance experience from afar, but at least your shoes get to say cute. I know that's most important to me, and we want you to know that we're here to keep you lifted up and empowered. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. And this is 15 years for you guys, right? 2007.
This is 15 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
A decade and a half. So
there you
thank
go.
you so much, Brixton.
Thank you so much, and thanks everybody for joining us.